Well, one of the games that jumped out to me is the Tennessee game. Tennessee had a weird week one against Arizona. I don't know if adding Julio Jones to the mix messed up their mojo, but they just played awful. Last week, they had a big comeback win in Seattle, and I think they're going to carry that momentum into week three. And Carson Wentz, he played well against Los Angeles last week, but he got hurt at the end of the game when they needed him most. He wasn't there. I think he is expected to start, but he's not going to be 100%. And I think Tennessee, after having that win in Seattle, is going to have some confidence. They're going to start the game off strong. They're going to finish the game strong. And I expect them to win by double digits.
Now, this is a division matchup, so this is a pretty important game early in the year, especially when you're 0-2.
Oh, it's a huge game for both teams. But I think that even though Indianapolis does have a solid defense, the playmakers on the Tennessee offensive side of the ball are just incredible. And I don't think that they will be able to slow them down. They might have a couple series where they get them off the field, but I expect Tennessee to put up close to 30 points.
Well, and there, Tennessee and that game you mentioned, the Seattle game, that was on our show last Saturday with Mo in the Something's Gotta Give segment. And Tennessee's over streak is pretty long. They score a lot of points. But again, if you had to tackle that running back late in the fourth quarter, you would score points too.
Yeah. And, Indianapolis, they have a great run defense. However, when it comes to stopping the pass, I don't think their cornerbacks are going to be able to keep up with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. And I expect by the second half, Derrick Henry to have a big second half again because they're going to need to change their strategy to stop the pass, and Tennessee will just pick them apart. One game that jumped out to me in the morning is Chicago. So Cleveland, clearly they're a great team. They're playing really well on both sides of the ball. But this Chicago defense is incredible. I think they had 3 interceptions last week. One was returned for a touchdown. I mean, Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson, out of Alabama. I think he's 3 years into the league. I mean, they are just so good that I believe this game will be a lot closer than people think. I think that Justin Fields making his first start is going to be fired up. He will play well, and he will keep them in the game. And if the Bears are not covering the entire game, I expect him to lead them down the field for a backdoor cover at the very end. I just see this defense Jarvis Landry's hurt. Odell Beckham is coming back, but they lost their other great receiver. I know Nick Chubb played really well last week, and I expect Cleveland to win this game, but I think that backdoor wide open if Chicago isn't covering already at the end of the game, and Justin Fields will find a way to cover the spread.
Well, you would imagine his first start, they're not gonna give him crazy stuff to do, which is a little more of a conservative thing. So as long as they put some points on the board, if they can, hold a little of that offensive clock on their side and keep Baker Mayfield on the other side on the bench, then you've got a real good shot, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago starts the game off with the score. And then, you're looking at plus 14.5. And anyone who takes points, you know how good it is when you get a touchdown to start off the bet. I mean, you're on cloud 9.
No doubt about it. No doubt. Okay, give us one more play.
I love the Chiefs this week. After a tough loss, Andy Reid being conservative at the end of the game, you are driving down the field. You're passing the ball lights out. Yes, I understand you can kick the field goal to solidify or guarantee a win, but then mistakes happen. If Patrick Mahomes can get in the end zone, get in the end zone. You can go for 2, make it a 9-point game, or you kick the extra point, make them have to drive down the field, go for 2 to tie the game. But with that being said, I think Kansas City rolls this week. I expect them to come out strong, below the Chargers out by at least a 2-touchdown win, and Kansas City to once again get their mojo back going into week 4.